Hello and welcome to episode 50 of the Heart of Markness podcast. That's 50 episodes, not counting all of those ones that I did for the boys in blue or whatever, just for the coronavirus kind of situation, doing the extra ones with the extra bands that aren't Led Zeppelin or Jimmy related. So it's actually probably around 55 or 54 or 50, I don't know, more than 50. But this is episode 50 of the official Heart of Markness podcast. And what are we doing to mark that occasion? Well, we're going to talk about a Led Zeppelin concert. Really, Mark? Are we doing anything more special? It's a noteworthy event. It is and it isn't, since I did my 50th episode already for the quarantine bonus. So, whatever. We'll keep on moving. I can't believe I've done 50. That's crazy. Every single week since I took my year-long hiatus when I was looking for my glasses. Guys, remember that? That was back in July, I think. Coming up on a year where I have not let you down. Nor will I. Why is that? Because my sanity is hanging on by a thread. The rusty wire that holds the cork, that keeps the anger in, gives way, and suddenly, it's day again. That's a Pink Floyd song. It's not me being crazy. Well, it's totally me being crazy, but it's not me being crazy nuts like that. I don't open that box publicly. So, what are we doing today? Today, we are going to talk about a brand new remaster of a show that I'd never heard on a tour that I'd never paid attention to. The 1972 Australiasian Tour. 1972, beginning of 1972. It was supposed to start on Valentine's Day in Singapore, but Singapore's government at the time was pretty restrictive, and their hair was too long and they looked too subversive, so they weren't even allowed off the plane. So no concert in Singapore. Then they went to Australia, mate, and did a tour there, which you can see at the beginning on the Led Zeppelin DVD. That the Immigrant Song footage of the outside show. That's Zeppelin. Well, obviously it's Zeppelin. It's Zeppelin in Australia, Mark. And they also did a show in New Zealand. This is the February 19th show in Adelaide, and I am featuring it. Honestly, I'm featuring it because a remaster was just put out. A gentleman by the name of DADGAD, D-A-D-G-A-D, which is one of the open tunings that Jimmy uses, is home, as most everybody is and should be, with the virus and all that. Well, he's not home with the virus, but he's, you know what I mean, sheltering in place or whatever the fuck they call it. And he's doing remasters to keep sanity going and to bring joy, much like I'm trying to do with my extra podcasts. You know, every little bit helps. And one of the remasters he did was this show. And it showed up fortuitously, and it was like, oh, there's the show I'm going to do then, I guess. Because from what I understand and from what I've listened to, the 72 Australia tour was super awesome, and it was a big deal for Australia and New Zealand. Tremendously big deal for them to have a band that big there. And there aren't any shows from that tour that are particularly like, oh my god, it's the best show ever, you have to hear it. Now, that's not saying it's bad. It's like 1972 Led Zeppelin is pretty much at the top of the mountain. So what it means is all these shows are great, but there aren't particular standouts that I'm aware of that's like, oh my god, you have to hear this. So instead of hunting out the best show that is head and shoulders above the rest, I'm just going for this one, which is a very nice audience recording, beautifully and tastefully remastered by DADGAD, and it's an excellent sounding show. So let's jump into it. It's February 19th, Adelaide, Australia. Adelaide, right? I love your accent, Mark. I know, it's flawless. So what are we going to do? I'm a little off here because I moved my microphone and stuff over to my couch, and I'm doing this in front of my giant TV instead of on my tiny laptop sitting crisscross applesauce on my bed. So it's a little weird. I'm holding the microphone like an old-time radio guy because the arm that it's mounted on, if I let go of it, it kind of drifts away from me, and you could probably hear that. But if you can't, whatever. All right, enough. It is spring. It is sprung. I love it. It is April. Well, it was April last time, too. Well, okay, it's going to be April for a while, right? It is beautiful here in Portland, Oregon. Today was the first warm day where my upstairs room in this old house was warm. Not uncomfortably warm, but warm. And I dread that because I love the cold. That's all right. So, my friends, what are we going to listen to? Well, we're going to listen to a few songs. The first one is going to just be the opening, which is Immigrant Song, because it's the Immigrant Song. It's great. It's always fun live. And just imagine being these kids seeing Led Zeppelin for the first time, coming out and thundering out the Immigrant Song. And this was also, I believe, 2 days before Jimmy shaved his beard. So we still have bearded Jimmy at this show. So let's jump right into the Immigrant Song, February 19th, DADGAD remaster of a Led Zeppelin show on the Heart of Markness podcast. See you in a few.
He's a friend, don't bother.
God, that must have been fun. Again, like most of the audience recordings, when you have a low generation one like this one is, the clarity of the band is improved to a point, as good as the capture of the sound, right? But what happens often is the clarity of the people nearest the tape recorder is improved, by orders of magnitude. And just to hear those kids, I think just before the song cut, I think the kid was like, my ears, mate. Yeah, it was loud back in those days. I've seen a couple concerts this millennium, because I'm old, and they are nowhere near as loud as the ones that I used to see back in the day, man. Fucking Aerosmith killed my right ear. Assholes. What should we listen to now? What should we listen to now? I had a whole bunch of songs I was going to play, but then I realized I was playing almost all of the acoustic set. And then I asked myself why I wasn't playing the entire acoustic set. And it's like, I don't really care for That's the Way. But then I realized some of you may like That's the Way, and I've never played that before. I'm almost positive I haven't. 50 episodes in, it's hard to remember, but I'm almost positive I haven't. And if I have, whatever. So we're going to listen to the entire acoustic set, starting with Going to California, and then into That's the Way. A little snippet of Tangerine. I thought they might have done it as an intro because it's a very short song, like a minute and a half. But what happens is it seems like the tape ran out. So I think that's what happened. And it goes right into the Brahmar Stomp. So you get the entire 1972 Australian. Oh God, I used to be pretty decent at accents, and now I fucking suck. Entropy is such a lonely word. Okay. Acoustic set. Oh, how am I going to time shift all that? I know how I'll do it. All right, sorry. Thinking to myself, it's weird looking at this giant TV screen instead of my laptop screen. I feel like I'm at NASA or something. Like this is suddenly way more important and complicated than it is on the laptop, but it's not. There's a much bigger screen. Looks cool though, the Audacity screen. It looks like I'm doing something on the fucking Enterprise. But I'm not. I'm just recording my voice and playing songs, right? Alrighty then. I have had this song in my head for a couple of weeks. And I heard it on the bus. Somebody got on the bus that was a little outside the standard bell curve for sanity, and was playing their music without headphones very loudly. And it was this one song, and I heard it like 3 times on my bus ride home. And all I remember from it was something about being a zombie. And it's a cute enough song, but just the hook, you know how music gets you and the hook gets you? The hook brings you back. Yep, well, it's in my brain, and I just have to get it out. Maybe if I sing it and give it to you, the parasite will leave me and infect one of you. But it's, like I said, it's like a zombie love song. Is what I can gather. In fact, that's what it's supposed to be called, because somebody's like, what is it you're listening to, sir? Zombie love song. So, I'll chase you through the yard and something. Oh, I want to steal your heart and eat your brains. I've never been so true, but if my heart was still beating, it would beat for you. Oh, I want to steal your heart and eat your brains. See? A silly song. A very silly song. Unworthy of being in my head for so long. So hopefully it's gone to some of you now. And, oh boy. Thank you for bearing with me on that one. Had to get that out. But now, since you listened to that, you will now listen to some Led Zeppelin. A whole bunch of Led Zeppelin. So we're going to play the whole acoustic set. So it's going to be like 20 minutes. It's going to be Going to California, That's the Way, a little bit of Tangerine, and the Brahmyar Stomp. Alrighty? Alrighty. See you in a bit.
Going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there, love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. So what? Chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that we all are the same. The sea was red and the sky was gray. I wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin awake. Seems like the walls of the boat's got a punch on my nose and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. I see you up there on the path runs straight and high. So high. Never been born. Standing on a hill in the mountain of trees, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems. It's hard. It's terribly hard. can't play with you no more. I don't know how I'm gonna do what Mama told me. My friend, the boy next door. I can't believe what people say. You're gonna let your hair hang down. Wow, wow, wow. I'm satisfied to sit here working all day long. You're in the dark side of town. What you doing there? When I'm out, I see you walking. Why don't your eyes see me? Could it be you found another game to play? What did Mama say to me? Oh, that's the way. Oh, that's the way it ought to be. Oh, don't you know now? Mama said that's the way it ought to stay. Yeah, that's right. Oh, mama. Yesterday I saw you standing by the river. I heard those tears that filled your eyes, and all the fish that lay in dirty water dying. Have they got you hypnotized? Did you see them? Did you see them? Yesterday I saw you kiss some tiny flowers, but all it lives is born to die. And so I said to you that nothing really matters. All you do is stand and cry. I know. I don't know what to say about it, but half your ears are turned away. But now's the time to look and look again at what you see. Is that the way it ought to stay? That's the way. Oh, that's the way it ought to be. Oh, no, no. that we might get this clever man at the front with the silver shirt to shut up. Is he the big hero at every concert? He's the kind of guy who goes home at night and jerks all night, right? And he loves it, he loves it. Right, well this is one for you, darling. Actually, they got a program on the television.
I wish I knew what the fuck Robert was talking about. I mean, we can go by context. That there was a big dude at the front who's been kind of an asshole every step of their show, every step of their tour, perhaps, or maybe just that whole show. But it sounded like he was there another night too, at least. And God, whew. Robert, nice. 23 years old, and flinging shit like a pro. Bet he goes home and jerks off and loves it. Really well done. I just wanted you to hear that part, or else I would have cut it. Because it's funny. Funny's good, right? That's one thing we got to remember. These boys were funny. And before things got too heavy and druggy and dark, it was a very, very fun experience to go to a Zeppelin concert. I mean, not that it wasn't in 77, but 77 was kind of different, man. Anyway, we went through the acoustic set, which is very lovely, wasn't it? There were some weird tape cuts and transitions that were pretty subtle. So if you're not paying close attention, you might not have noticed. But if you did, this is what we have to work with, and this is what we work with. So there's one more I'd like to play to you, for you, on you, near you, around you. And sometimes why. It is. And I realize that I do this a lot with shows, is I usually play a whole lot of Love, because I love the medleys and stuff, and this is no different. And it's not like this particular Whole Lotta Love is like, oh my god, it's the only time they ever blank. It isn't. It's a standard, high energy, peak Led Zeppelin Whole Lotta Love with all the medleys and all that stuff that you've heard. It's very good. I want you to hear it from start to finish, and it's less than 20 minutes long. Because it's 1972. And, yeah, I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it up with that. I'll talk to you after. Oh, no, I'll get all this shit out of the way so you fucks don't bail after the last song. Follow me, social media, Twitter, at Heart of Markness. I'm there. Follow me. I have a Facebook group, or we have a Facebook group, Heart of Markness. Look it up. There's close to, well, I don't know, more than 50 people in there now. It's very, very nice. It has its own life. You can ask Zeppelin questions, share Zeppelin content, and just make some cool friends. Social media. Make your media social. So you can follow me in the Facebook group. That's where I that's where I post the podcast. It's where I post the links to the shows and things. Because if you're a new quarantine era listener, and according to my stats, there are a hell of a lot of you. Stay, remain, forever. I when possible and when relevant and germane, I post links so you can download the entire concert of each podcast or relevant podcasts. So, for instance, on heartofmarkness.com, you will find this podcast listed with a picture either from the show or this one will be a ticket stub from this show, as well as a link to the podcast and or an embed of the podcast and a link to this show, the entire show, not just the songs I played. You get start to finish this entire show remastered by DADGAD, beautiful little audience recording. You can listen to and hold and own forever, and I don't know, because I'm nice like that. Well, somebody gave it to me. DADGAD did this for free, posted it on Dime a Dozen, where it was shared for free. I grabbed it for free, and now I'm sharing it with you for free. And speaking of free, how'd you like to give me some money? Patreon. If you enjoy this show, and you're of a mind to, and have the means to, I invite you to go to patreon.com/heartofmarkness and look at the tiers of things I have for you. If you'd like to be a patron of the show for $5-10 a month or whatever, it would be most welcome. It goes right to me and pays for the show, the hosting, the website, the podcast hosting, the mega site where I put the shows that you download, etc. And me. Keeps me alive, helps pay rent, etc. If you'd like to. This is a free podcast. It'll always be free. But if you do become a patron, there are tiers where you get an extra podcast every month just for you. And those tend to be a little cooler in ways and to have stuff that I can't really play publicly. So there's that. And so yeah, Patreon, if you want to be a patron. If you don't, no worries. And since it is Talk Patreon time, let us read the roll call of honor. These are the people who are right now paying for this entire podcast. All rise. I'll read from the bottom to the top instead of the top to the bottom. Thank you to Peter and Mimo and Mark and Jeremy and David and other David and Bill and Avi. Thank you, folks, very, very much for putting your money where your mouth is. Well, no, because your money went to me in my mouth. Well, never mind. Thank you for your money. Whoops. And there goes my phone. It's okay. That could have knocked over a lot of shit, and it didn't. So I'll just take that as a win. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Avi, Bill, David, other David, Jeremy, Mark, and Mimo, and Peter for supporting the podcast, supporting me, and, being all-around great people. All right. Here endeth the offering. Now, last song, Whole Lotta Love. You've got your Whole Lotta Love, ba-da-ga-da-da, ba-ga-dick, ba-ga-dick, ba-da-ga-da-da, ba-ga-dick, ba-ga-dick. And then you have the blues songs, and the Hello, Mary Lou, Goodbye, Heart, Sweet Mary Lou, I'm so in love with you, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And the blues and the rock and roll covers, and, it's a whole lot of love. Led Zeppelin. February 19th, 1972, Heart of Markness podcast. Let's listen to it, and then I'll be back to say bye-bye.
You need fooling, woman, I ain't fooling. One night I was laying down. I heard my mom and papa talking. I hear them say, man, you got to let that boy boo. You got to let that boy boogie woogie. That boy really needs to boogie sometimes. And I felt so good. I don't want to tell him I've been boogieing 5 years just the same. Boogie children, boogie children, boogie children, yeah. Boogie
kind of a bummer how there's some missing tape in that. I mean, the end was not jarring. DADGAD did a good job of doing the fade on that, so it wasn't like whoop as much as it could have been. And there's some cuts in the tape there, but what does exist is fucking awesome. And man, some of those were really, really good. That's all right, mama. That was tight. That was tight. And Jimmy did some quick little rockabilly licks in there that were just beautiful and perfectly executed. So yay for that. And the slow blues they did is my all-time favorite blues song ever. It's a Willie Dixon tune done by Howlin' Wolf called Going Down Slow. And the band Led Zeppelin nails it, but it's not a song that should be sung by Robert Plant. Because the song is basically shared by Willie Dixon and Howlin' Wolf, both of whom have very, very powerful, low register voices. Howlin' Wolf's voice is just terrifying. And but the lyrics are so good. I did not say I was a millionaire. I said I spent more money than a millionaire. 'Cause if I had kept all the money that I'd already spent, I'd have been a millionaire a long time ago. And women? Great googly moogly. You gotta have a certain amount of gravitas to pull that off. It's such a good song. Man, if you guys have Spotify or whatever you listen, if you're not familiar with that song, listen to it. It is one of the best blues ever. It is the bluesiest of blues. And it's so good. And Howlin' Wolf's voice is so good when he sings, I have had my fun. If I never get well no more. That's deep, man. He's dying. I've had my fun if I never get well no more. Going down slow. All right. As are we. We just hit an hour. And I am going to bail because it's been an hour. It is almost 9 and I want to get this posted. And I'm all out of songs to share. So, follow me on Twitter, Heart of Markness, Facebook group, Heart of Markness, website, heartofmarkness.com. You're seeing the theme, Heart of Markness. Patreon, if you want to support Heart of Markness. Otherwise, enjoy. Thank you for listening. If you have time and have the impetus, it does the show, the podcast, and me a lot of good if you leave a review on whatever platform you're listening to. You can just do stars or just leave a few words. It's a little bit of a hassle, but it's deeply, deeply appreciated. And it's a genuine, legitimate way to benefit the podcast and do me a solid. Because traffic's increasing, and that's wonderful. There's an upside to this plague, and that means more people, younger people, are listening to this podcast. So yay, thanks for that. But yeah, leaving me a review, retweeting when I post it, or sharing the posts, just getting in front of more folks is deeply appreciated. So yeah, leave a review if you're of a mind to. It's greatly appreciated. And have a great week. And I will maybe get another bonus quarantine podcast up before I do another Led Zeppelin. The last one was The Who. Really good show. And yeah, I have the Patron podcast to do. I'll get to that this weekend too, hopefully. And yeah, everybody be good. Wash your hands. Take care of each other. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very, very much.